What is up, IDP Show Nation? This is Mike Woellert. Today, we will be talking IDP sleepers for the 2025 season. First, we have Isaiah McGuire, edge rusher from the Cleveland Browns. So I wrote him up as a sleeper pre-draft, and I still have him as a nice sleeper post-draft. In a deep edge class, the Browns didn't address the position in the draft. They added Joe Tryon and Julian Okwara. They actually just released Ugbo Nkoronkwo, but Tryon and Okwara are not exactly havoc wreakers. I do think he and Alex Wright will be in a positional battle for that DL2 spot opposite Myles Garrett. Even though Wright has a year on him, the production and the grades really don't compare right now. Wright, as a rookie, had a 38.4 grade. Second season had a 55.6 grade. Last season, in just over 100 snaps, had a 60.2. Now, obviously, if you're looking at the glass half full, you're thinking, hey, at least his grades improved year over year, but those grades certainly, are well below average. McGuire had a dreadful 46.9 grade his rookie year, but had a huge leap to an 83.3 in 2024 and improved considerably from year one to year two. McGuire finished with a 12.5% pressure rate. Compare that to the 6% career pressure rate for Alex Wright. And even still, McGuire had a really solid finish to the season, finishing with double-digit pressures in 7 of the last 9 games, plus an asset in the run game is going to keep him on the field for Jim Schwartz's defense, as he had an 86.1 run defense grade, according to PFF. As far as his moveset, pretty decent moveset, had a 24.4% win rate, so really good first move. Just needs to improve that sack conversion rate, and as of right now, he's the edge 97. Basically, you can have him for free. His ADP is in the 200s, and you have a nice late round lottery ticket if he does win that edge 2 spot opposite Myles Garrett. Next, we have Malcolm Koonce, edge rusher from the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, when I wrote up Koonce, his ADP was edge 49, right around the 153 mark, and it's actually dropped to 52. So right now he's the edge 52. Perfect. Continue to buy low on Malcolm Koonce because I think people have forgotten just how good he was in 2023. When you have Max Crosby advocating for you and telling the front office, hey, you need to retain this guy. He is needed. I need him opposite me. You know you have a good player on your hands. In 2023, he had a .87 pass rush burst off the snap, so he was getting off the line of scrimmage in less than a second. Had a solid 2.5% sack rate and a 15.6% pressure rate. Although not an elite win rate at 18.5, really good number, good motor. So even though he may not win the block or win the rep, he's taking advantage of the quarterback. He's taking advantage of the tackle kind of letting up and bringing his guard down. So Koonce is still generating consistent pressure. In 2023, he was close to double-digit sacks. He had 8 sacks and added 10 QB hits. Converts 1 or 2 of those QB hits, and he has double-digit sacks in 2023, which I think he has definitely the upside for in 2025. Although he averaged only 9.8 fantasy points per game in Big 3 scoring, if you look at those final 4 games, he averaged 24.9 fantasy points per game over those last 4 games of the 2023 season. So things were looking up for him in 2024. It's just unfortunately an injury ended his season before it really began. Koonce is actually someone I don't mind overpaying for. So even though he's the edge 52, I don't mind targeting him as a DL3 or even a DL4. So I think he's in line for a really solid injury bounce back season. We have SirVocea Dennis, the off-ball linebacker from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I think whoever wins the LB2 is going to see close to a full-time role. In week 1 last season, he saw 36% of the snaps, but saw his role increase as KJ Britt's play was really not up to snuff. He had a usage rate up over 50% over the next 2 games before that shoulder injury knocked him out for the remainder of the season. He was an efficient tackler. He had a 21.2% tackle rate, and heading into 25, he is healthy. He definitely opened some eyes during the OTAs, was playing some Mike position. He played in a similar role and scheme at Pittsburgh. Also had some reps wearing the dot, where he was communicating with the defense. So as of right now, I don't think he's going to take that role full time over Levante David, but as a Mike linebacker, he's definitely a guy that the opposing offenses recognize. Someone who's going to rush the quarterback, pick up in the blitz, is a pretty solid tackle producer within that defense. If he does win the LB2 spot, he should be in line for, I think, an 85% usage rate. Tampa runs a lot of nickel, a lot of 2LB. If you look at last season, the LB2 in Tampa's defense played about 71% of the snaps, but that was more of a rotation and some inconsistencies at the LB2. So I think Dennis is going to bring in some consistency. Tampa also runs zone scheme nearly 80% of the time, which is a very tackle-friendly scheme. So I do think there is definitely upside for a 100 tackle season for Dennis if he does get that full-time role and sees at least 85% of the snaps. As of right now, he's currently the LB 66, so you can probably get him as your LB 4 or 5 near the tail end of the draft. Next linebacker is Jack Gibbens of the New England Patriots. I think with some of these free agent signings, I think there's something to be said with familiarity of the coach and familiarity of the scheme. Gibbens is familiar with Mike Vrabel and the scheme while with Tennessee. He was a starter in 2023, played just 66% of the snaps, but was very efficient with those snaps as he had a 15.1% tackle rate and finished that season with 95 tackles. Injury cut short his 2024 season, where I believe he got off to a pretty good start, 40 tackles, really solid tackler, athletic, has a nose for the ball. And I think with Mike Vrabel and Terrell Williams utilizing a more aggressive scheme, I think it's going to rely on his athleticism, especially in stopping the run. I think him and Spillane, if they are full-time linebackers, are going to be a really solid run-stopping duo. Even if Gibbons sees 70% of the snaps, I still think he's going to have value in those deeper leagues. As of right now, we're kind of seeing that LB dead zone come after right around the 36 spot. After those full-time 90% guys, it might be a deep position, but those full-time guys aren't very deep. So we need to rely on some of these 70, 75, 80% snap linebackers to kind of keep our team afloat. So I think even if he sees that type of usage, I think he's going to still have value as kind of an LB4, LB5. If it does end up that the Patriots are running that 2 LB, that nickel consistently, running 2 off-ball linebackers, definitely be a week 1 waiver wire target. Mike Vrabel knows Gibbons' skill set. Don't have an issue with him as kind of a late round lottery ticket. If he doesn't pan out, doesn't cost you too much but a roster spot, kind of cut and move on. Right now, he's currently the LB 91, has a mid 230s ADP. So again, one of those linebackers you can get for free. And if he produces and exceeds that ADP, you got a really good player on your hands. Lastly, we have Nick Herbig, the edge rusher from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Herbig is set for an expanded role in 2025. I think he saw just over 400 snaps. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Herbig's usage come up near the 600, 650 mark. And that's even with TJ Watt returning. But has been taking advantage of those first team reps with TJ Watt sitting out OTAs and minicamp, not happy with the contract that he's currently on. I don't see him being traded. I do see him and Pittsburgh working something out. Even if Watt returns in time, I still, like I said, I think Herbig gets some higher usage. According to Next Gen Stats, he led the Steelers in pressure rate with a 17.6% pressure rate, had a 0.77 pass rush burst, and an 8.9% quick pressure rate. So he was generating pressure in fewer than 2.5 seconds. Finished with a 2.7% sack rate, had an average win rate of about 15%, but is a high motor edge rusher, will not stop until the whistle blows. And I think if Herbig does get more snaps as Pittsburgh's edge 3, I think he can be in a conversation as a DL4. Definitely like him as a best ball target, can have some of those ceiling weeks. So Herbig, DL4, DL5 in some deeper leagues. Those are my IDP sleepers for 2025. Just to go over real quick, we have Isaiah McGuire, the edge rusher from the Cleveland Browns, Malcolm Koonce, the edge rusher from the Las Vegas Raiders, SirVocea Dennis, off-ball linebacker from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jack Gibbens, off-ball linebacker with the New England Patriots, and Nick Herbig, the edge rusher from the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is it for this video. Appreciate you watching. Always hit that subscribe button, and also make sure to head over to the IDP show, sign up for our draft kit. We have you covered with projections, sleeper articles, breakouts, plus we always have our ADP updated. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter at Mike_Woellert, where we can talk anything IDP and even WWE, anything else that should happen to come up. So with that, thanks again for watching, and IDP Nation, you stay classy.